Hi, this is Mr. Smith, and in this video I'll be going over the syllabus. So first of all, this is developmental math. It's a non-algebra course, and it's paired with Math 1332, which is called Contemporary Mathematics. So first of all, here it talks about contacting your instructor. We're supposed to get back to you within 24 hours. I'm normally much better than that. My name is Scott Smith. Notice my first name has one T, and so you can call me 1T, which is my nickname. You can call me Mr. Smith, or if you want to call me Scott, that's fine. I'm pretty flexible as far as that's concerned. If you want to get a hold of me, my email works really great. It comes right to my phone. You can also call this number. It's a Google Voice number. And I can, if you want to have a conversation, we can do that through a call, or if you want to text me, that's fine too. This is an online course, and so there is no office location, not a physical one anyway. But we will have virtual office hours, and I will be announcing those this first week. And if you want to get a hold of the department or the division office, you can reach them here. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, so I said this is a developmental level course. It's called DMAT 0317, and again, it's linked to Math 1332. This is our section number. So basically, this is two classes in one. Rather than taking them in two separate semesters, we allow you to take them at the same time. Our certification date. Notice we don't have a class meeting place or time because it's an internet course. Certification date, that's basically the day that I certify that you're attending the course, and so that's September 4th. If you'll notice that there's an assignment that you need to complete before, or some assignments that you need to complete by the 29th of August, so I'll talk about that shortly. Last day to withdraw from this class, should at some point you need to withdraw, is November 11th. And notice that that's something you're responsible to do. I cannot withdraw you even if I try. But I just want to encourage you to talk to me. You may want to talk to Veterans Affairs if you're a veteran, or if you're getting financial aid, talk to the people that deal with that, because withdrawing could have an impact on those things. Sometimes students will just disappear and they think, oh, I'm not going to do this school thing. They come back a few years later and they find they're on probation. So just make sure that you withdraw the correct way if for some reason you have to do that. So let's see. Well, let's just move on to the next slide here. Not really much in the way of a prerequisite here. So course description, I talked a little bit about that. If you want more detail, that's here. And learning outcomes for Math 1332, you can look through those on your own. The Texas core objectives, I'm pretty sure are on all the syllabi, but anyway, if you haven't read these before, I'd encourage you to look through them. These are all skills that we want you to leave with when you go, away with a degree here and you go on into the real world. These are all good things, and hopefully you'll be more skillful in these areas when you move on. At least that's our hope. All right, so required course materials. This course, actually all of our courses, or at least most of them, are part of the Include Ed program, which basically means you're getting your book normally with your class. In this case, we do everything electronically. Your book is an e-text or an online book, and you're getting My Math Lab with this, the money that you've already spent for tuition, or somebody spent. Again, we are using MyLab Math, which used to be called My Math Lab. So a lot of times you'll hear me call it by that. and it's an online textbook-based software where you're going to be doing your assignments. So you're going to need a computer, you're going to need reliable internet access because you have a lot of homework you'll be doing, and so it's really important that you have a reliable place you can go to do that work. And you can certainly do it at school, but hopefully you don't have to do it all at school. In order to register, all you basically have to do is when you're in eCampus, you just click on the My Math Lab or My Lab Math link, and then click on any link inside of there. And the first time you do that, you'll answer some questions and you'll be registered. All right, one of the things that's not included, really this is the only other thing other than just basic materials, is a calculator. So this TI-30XS multi-view calculator, and it's got to say multi-view, is the calculator that I'll be using, and it's one that I highly recommend to you because when we get to our second test, Chapter 8, we're going to be working with some really complicated financial formulas where you have complex fractions, and this calculator really makes a difference. In fact, sometimes students aren't convinced to buy the calculator until after they fail this test. So I really encourage you to get this. If you're really good on a calculator, you might be okay. If you already have something you can use and you're really good on it. But this calculator makes things a lot easier in that, especially in that one chapter. As far as graded work's concerned, you can see the percentages here. Homework is 15%. Quizzes 10%, you have 4 tests worth a total of 60%, and a final that is 15%. And of course, the grading is standard, 90 to 100% is A, and so on. Let's look at the next slide. Description of graded work. So we have homework, quizzes, tests, and a final. So I want to go ahead and read the homework description here. Homework will be assigned in My Lab Math to practice the material learned in each section of the textbook. A great feature of My Lab Math is that you get immediate feedback for each problem. It's going to tell you if you get the right or wrong answer. If you get a wrong answer, you're normally going to have access to a detailed solution to the problem. On the other hand, in order to learn the material well, I highly recommend that you work out all your homework on paper in some sort of notebook. This is going to be especially helpful later on when you study for quizzes or you're studying for the test. Not to mention, writing things out has a way of helping you learn the material. So a lot of times I have students, they say, Mr. Smith, I'm doing great on the homework, but not so good on the tests. And so this is how you can hopefully avoid that situation. And I want you to notice here that your DMAT grade for 0317 is going to just be the homework grade. So if you have a passing grade on the homework, then you will pass 0317 even if you don't pass 1332, which means if you had to retake 1332, you'd only have to do the one course. Of course, we're not thinking that way. We're thinking positive here. You're going to pass them both. Quizzes. So the quizzes I think of as like practice for the test. They're going to cover a few sections. They're going to be timed. And you're going to get 2 chances. So I normally tell students take the quiz without looking at your notes. You could always study the notes first and then take the quiz. And then if you have to take it a second time, if you want to use your notes, that's fine. But just keep in mind that if you can do the quiz without using notes, then that's an indication that you're prepared for the test. If you're struggling with the quizzes, that means you've got more work to do. All right, we talked about the tests. I do want to mention that you may be asked to submit work for some of the problems. And then notice our final is December 8th. And you'll see that in the calendar as well. Late work policy. So I really can't stress enough how important it is that you're doing the assignments on time. In fact, that's really the key to passing this course or doing well in the course. Late assignments are half off, so not only are you going to lose the points, but you're going to be rushed, and you're going to be, anyway, it's just going to make things much better for you if you can stay on top of the homework and have everything done before each test. Once you've taken the test, or once the deadline's passed, you cannot go back and do assignments for that test. The other thing is if you miss the deadline for a test, you need to contact me immediately. Normally, the only excuse for missing a test is there's been some kind of family emergency. Otherwise, make sure you're taking your tests on time. Communicating with your instructor. So this is going to be super important, especially in an online course. Each week I'll be making an announcement in eCampus, sometimes more than one, just talking about what's due for that week, and maybe there's some important announcements I want to make. You should get an email when I make these announcements in eCampus. And so if you're not getting them, that's an indication that you need to correct your email address in eConnect. And that's not only for my class, that's for all your classes. So really important. Notice the due dates for the assignments are in my math lab. They're also on the schedule. We talked about how you can reach me. I have a lot of classes this semester, so if you'll include the course description, that'll help me to know which class you're in. Attendance and participation. All right, so we talked about certification earlier. Notice it says you won't be certified as attending if you've not enrolled into my math lab and completed the homework for sections 1.1 through 1.3 and quiz 1 by Sunday, August 19th with an average score of 70%. So if you're not certified, that can affect any kind of financial aid that you're getting. So if for some reason you're late, maybe you start the course late, just make sure that you're communicating with me, and I have a little bit of flexibility there. But it's very important that you're getting this done and getting off to a good start in the course. There's institutional policies that you should be aware of if you have not looked at those before. It covers things like tutoring, disabilities, dropping classes, and so on. So really important that you know what's in there. And then finally, I just want to say that, there's been a lot that's happened the last couple of years. I always reserve the right to make adjustments to the syllabus depending on circumstances. And if there are any changes, I will note those in eCampus or make an announcement. All right, so let's look at the course schedule. So you can see it's really clear. These are the things that I want you to look at the first week. In particular, I want you to notice how to enter answers in my math lab. Some of you are pretty good with technology and you probably don't need to go in there. But if at some point you find yourself having problems entering the answers, then I would encourage you to look in there. Intro to the TI-30XS multi-view calculator. If you're having problems doing basic things or even putting in fractions and stuff like that, I would encourage you to look at that. You probably won't need to do that until you get to chapter 5. And so these two sections are not really assignments, but these first two here should be done the first week, as well as these assignments here. And so those are the things you're going to want to do the first week. And the main thing is the ones that are required for certification. And you can see each week's assignments are indicated with the due date to the right. And as always, if you have any questions about that, you can always talk to me and I'm happy to clarify anything. And then finally, I just want to say there's the testing deadlines. And so that's all I have to say about the syllabus. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I hope you have a great semester, and I'm looking forward to working with you.